GNN, the Global News Network. Tomorrow's news today. Good day, everyone, and welcome to this edition of GNN's special feature, Eye on Africa. I'm your host, Mal Adams. Today, our program focuses on the community development and modern housing trends on the African continent. Today's focus is on the exciting things going on in the developing nation of Angola.
The world's most expensive city for expats is where? Well, the most expensive city in the world for expats is in Africa. And I must admit I was surprised when I read this finding from Mercer's 2011 Cost of Living Survey that placed Luanda, the capital city of Angola. But when you look at the consulting company's formula, it makes sense. Mercer looked at two main variables. One is the strength or weakness of the local currency compared to the same last year. If it's grown stronger against the US dollar, then that would push the city higher in the rankings. The other is the price increase or decrease of a basket of commodities. If the price increased relative to the basket of goods based in New York, then that would push the city higher as well. Well, here's Mercer's top 10 list this year, and let's see if your city is here. Number 1, Luanda, Angola. Number 2, Tokyo, Japan. Yeah, that's us, baby. Number 3, N'Djamena, Chad. Moscow, Russia. Geneva, Switzerland. Osaka, Japan. Yeah, baby, that's us. Zurich, Switzerland. Singapore in Singapore. Hong Kong in China. And Sao Paulo in Brazil. And with Luanda, three major factors help write this story: expensive oil, expensive foreign housing, and expensive imported commodities. Well, let's start with the oil first. Angola is an OPEC member country and one of Africa's biggest oil producers. And it's using its oil profits to fuel a reconstruction boom after a civil war that ravaged the country for nearly 3 decades. Now, we know a little bit of something about that because I just recently finished a 5-minute propaganda video for the government of Angola, and as I speak, that program is being aired day in and day out nationally on Angola television, made right here in the Media Arts Lab in beautiful downtown Kakigawa City in the studios of Totown Digital Media. I'm going to play that product for you. My good friend in St. Croix commissioned that video from us. His consortium has a contract to build 22,000 homes in the surrounding community in this outstanding reconstruction program that's going on in Angola. They got big money. Now, that recovery is pulling in foreign workers. As I mentioned, they're using their profits from oil to fuel a reconstruction boom after the Civil War. And the recovery is pulling in foreign workers, many from China, Brazil, and Portugal. And those workers need homes to stay in, and likely homes that meet developed country standards. That drives up housing costs, plus those expatriate workers would likely want food that needs to be imported. Now, they may not want a McDonald's hamburger, but for sake of convenience and ubiquity, let's say that they do. Well, a quick Google of McDonald's hamburger and Angola will find that you can buy the iconic hamburger sandwich in a place called Angola, but on closer inspection, that's the city of Angola in the U.S. state of Indiana. As for Angola, the country, sorry, no officially sponsored golden arches will be found. The closest one is more than 3,000 kilometers away in South Africa. Hence, food imports. Oil and foreign housing are behind Luanda's claim to costliest fame. Rounding out the top 5, similar factors come into play. It's the second year in a row that Tokyo, Japan claims the number 2 spot. Ask any expat like myself, and I'll tell you that your housing is at a premium and your rent will get you a space the size of a walk-in closet in most places in America. And remember, this is the land where the capsule hotel was born, so don't get it twisted. Also, the yen has been surging in strength as investors flock to the currency as a safe haven. The dollar is going in the toilet. You better get you some yen. I've had a yen for more than 35 years, so I know of what I speak. Over the last 12 months, however, it's gained 9.97% in strength against the U.S. dollar. An expat who moves to Japan will find his national currency buys less here now than it did before. Bottom line, that makes you a pauper in Japan. If you bring those dollars over here, it's like M&M's. They're going to melt in your hand, baby. And for number 3 on the Mercer list, we had to head back down to Africa. N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. Moscow and Geneva come in at number 4 and 5. And again, it's either a case of expensive housing or for expats, or a strong local currency, or both. It's also worth mentioning big movement from down under Australia. 6 major cities, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Brisbane, Canberra, and Adelaide, vaulted between 10 and 44 notches higher from last year. Now that's because the Aussie dollar has gained hardcore against the US dollar. And a few other interesting tidbits from this year's survey. As for the top 20 most expensive city, that list was clearly dominated by Asia Pacific metropolises. After Tokyo, number 2, Osaka number 6, Singapore number 8, Hong Kong number 9, Nagoya 11, that's down the road from me about an hour's drive, Sydney 14, Seoul 19, and Beijing 20. That was the top 20 listings for the Asian cities. Interestingly though, New York only came in at about number 32 after having dropped in rank from number 27 in 2010. And if you're looking for the cheapest city to live in, well, this Mercer survey says you'd have to relocate to Karachi, Pakistan. At number 214 out of 214, prices there are 1/3 cheaper than in Luanda. So sayonara, have a good trip to Pakistan if you're broke. That's about your best bet on the global scene of least expensive places in the world to live. So, coming up now on this week's edition of Japan Journal, in light of this breaking news development and this new business report on CNN Business 360, talking about the world's most expensive expat city in Luanda, Angola, we're going to roll the tape for you and show you the propaganda promotional video we did for the government of Angola right here at Totown Digital Media, baby, in the Media Arts Lab. That's MAL, Media Arts Lab, otherwise known as MAL, in beautiful downtown Kakigawa City. Somebody roll the tape. Hit it. Boom. See, you wouldn't want to be. Stick and stay, don't you dare go away. Every time this time on a sonic ass near you, baby.
The highlight of Angola's recovery after years of civil war is showcased by its remarkable building trends in its major urban centers. Rich in oil, diamonds, and abundant natural resources, Angola is fast becoming the pearl of Africa. A major aspect of Angola's spectacular economic growth is its commitment to reconstruction and development. Important to this development is the need to close the gap in suitable and affordable housing for its growing population in rural and suburban areas. And that's our report for this edition of the Global News Network's feature, Eye on Africa, with a special focus on the remarkable community development and modern housing trends in the African nation of Angola. I'm your host, Mal Adams. Thank you for watching.